Hey guys, PokéDan here. Out of all of the Pokemon that exist, nearly every person out there will have at least one which they don't like, and I'm no exception to this. Us human beings can be fairly fickle, and over time, our mindsets and what we like change, and with my taste in Pokemon, I know for a fact, there are some who I used to hate but I now love, and it works the same the other way round. Well, today, I wanted to focus on those Pokemon that I didn't used to like but now do by talking about them in a video. Do remember guys, that this is all in my own experiences and it's just my opinion, so be sure to let me know yours down in the comment section. But with all that being said, let's get started with the video. Starting off, we have a Pokemon that was actually featured in my top 10 least favourite Pokemon video, which is Illume. In that video, Illume was featured alongside Volbeat, and whereas I don't dislike Volbeat as much anymore, I certainly do have a higher preference towards Illume. Recently, I replayed through Pokemon Platinum once again, and after defeating the champion, I headed over to the fight area to challenge the game's after-game features. And when exploring through Route 229, I stumbled upon a shiny Illume. Not gonna lie, my liking for Illume skyrocketed at this moment. I mean, I imagine most people would begin to like a Pokemon who they'd found a shiny version of because of how rare the odds are. As well as this, I was a bit hasty in not liking it originally because of its design. It doesn't look too bad, same for Volbeat, and it being based on a firefly is a really unique concept. Coming in at the number 9 spot, we have Jinx. Now Jinx is an interesting one for me since I originally didn't like it because generally it seemed like a lot of people hated it for its design. So I decided to follow the crowd on that opinion even though I had no experience with Jinx. Recently I've begun seeing this Pokemon in a new light and I'm not too sure why this is. I've not used Jinx on any in-game teams or in a Wi-Fi battle or anything. Its design has just become okay to me all of a sudden. Maybe this is my time to be a rebel against the general opinion, but I don't think it looks as bad as it's made out to be. As well as this, it has a really cool typing of Ice and Psychic, which it just deserves praise for. Up next, we have the 5th generation Pokemon Swoo Birds. The reason I used to have a strong disliking towards this psychic type was mostly because of its design. It's fair to say this creature is not your typical dog or cat Pokemon and its design is pretty out there, and for that I wasn't a fan. However, last year when I replayed through my old copy of Pokemon Black, I decided to use this Pokemon as my flying type since there was no way in hell that I'd even consider capturing an Unpheasant. Much to my surprise, this Pokemon was a treat to be used on my team, and it often helped me in tough battles. The fact that Woobat also evolves by friendship made it so that I always prioritized it over other members of my team to evolve it. And doing this made me like the Pokemon even more. Swoobat is for sure a Pokemon ticked off of my hate list. Making it at the number 7 spot is Licky. Now for me, I love this Pokemon's pre-evolution, and it will forever be one of my favourite Pokemon, and its pre-evolution being so good is why I've never cared so much for Licky. I used to tell myself that I hated Licky for its design, which to be fair is pretty out there, but not much more so than Lickitungu's is. Upon recently rewatching an episode of the Diamond and Pearl anime which featured Licky, I realised that it is actually a Pokemon I quite like. In the anime, it was a quirky personality and it left a good impression on me, but the thing is, I do remember watching this same episode when I was younger, yet I still didn't like Licky. This is just another prime example of how your tastes will change as you get older. Coming in at the number 6 spot on this list, we have both Drowsy and Hypno. These Gen 1 Pokemon are ones that used to make me feel pretty uneasy whenever I saw them, and that was because of the origins of the Pokemon as well as popular speculation. Recently though, I've had 2 different reasons to reconsider my love for this evolution line. Let's start with Drowsy. The main reason I've changed my mind on this psychic type is because I actually hunted for a shiny version back in Pokemon Sun and Moon. The pink colouring on this Pokemon's shiny form really made me realise how it's not so bad. For Hypno, it's one of the most recent Pokemon on this list who I've actually grown to love. Recently, I've been playing through Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and I had a Drowsy on my team as a placeholder. However, when it evolved and I used Hypno so much, I realised that it deserved its spot on the team because of how much it contributed. Fair to say, I don't think these mons are so bad anymore. Next up is Oranguru. Back when this Pokemon was first revealed, myself and a friend of mine known as Ozimitsu, remember that name for later, both had different opinions on which was better, Oranguru or Persimmon. I was massively on Team Persimmon just because it had a better design. Quite often, myself and Ozzy battled each other with our competitive teams, and on his team he had none other than an Oranguru. In a doubles match, this Pokemon was a real pain to face as it proved to be really useful on his team. And even though I still prefer Persimmon, Oranguru has grown on me quite a lot just for that alone. As well as this, I've caught up to the Sun and Moon series where Oranguru serves as a recurring character. And how can you not love this Pokemon after it showed off its bartending skills? Coming in at number 4, we have another Pokemon from Alola, and it is Vika Vault. When I first saw this Pokemon, I have to say I was not a fan at all. But what made me really not like it was the fact that it became a fast fan favourite among the community. For me, I didn't understand why anyone would like it. However, since thinking this, my opinion on the Pokemon has drastically changed. When I played through Pokemon Ultra Sun for the second time, I finally thought I'd give this bug a shot at redemption. And in all fairness, it did rarely fail me. Because of its use on my team, I also started coming around to its design, and now I quite like it. Even though I've not seen it in the anime yet, I have seen still shots of it and I think it looks really cool. So that's another reason why I like this Pokemon. Remember how earlier in the video I said to remember the name Ozimitsu? Well, that's because he's changed my mind on yet another Pokemon, and that is Oshawott. Well, the entire Oshawott line really. When I was younger watching the Universe anime, Oshawott was a Pokemon on Ash's team that really got on my nerves, and for that, I wrote off its whole evolution line for quite a while. When I became friends with Ozzy because his mascot was Oshawott, I eventually came around to the idea of the Pokemon not being so bad. And hey, when I rewatched the Universe anime when I was a little bit older, I didn't find Oshawott to be a bad character. I actually quite liked it. As well as this, Oshawott's evolutions look really cool, and yeah, these are Pokemon who I now really like. Coming in at second place for this video, we have Tentacool. I used to hate this Pokemon purely for the fact that it was so commonly found when surfing. I remember in older Pokemon games, it was a nightmare travelling across water because this bad boy would pop up every 5 steps. Everything changed regarding my feelings towards this Pokemon when I was EV training some of my competitive battling mons in Sun and Moon, and managed to find a shiny Tentacool. This was the first ever shiny I found with the intention of EV training instead, and catching it made me change my mind on Tentacool entirely. I stand by the fact that it's ridiculous how common Tentacool is, but I'm more than happy to run into this Pokemon now as I'm a huge fan of both it and its evolution. And finally, coming in at the number 1 spot on this list are Grottle and Torterra. You may be surprised that I used to hate these Pokemon considering how much I talk about loving Sinnoh. But yeah, it was actually the anime's fault for me not liking them. In the anime, Ash's Turtwig was adorable and such a fun character, but that mostly seemed to stop when it evolved. Grottle was still okay to me, but I didn't like it anywhere near as much as I did Turtwig, and when it evolved again, for a while it seemed not to have much of a personality. I still stand by these feelings to this day. However, after using the starters so much due to how often I play through Pokemon Platinum, it's made me incapable of hating them. In fact, it's now the opposite, as I'd go as far as saying I love the Pokemon. Don't get me wrong, Turtwig is still by far the best part of this evolution line if you ask me, but still, the others are pretty cool too. But anyway guys, with all that being said, that pretty much wraps things up for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. Also, be sure to let me know about the Pokemon that you used to hate but now love down in the comments section. But with all that being said, for now, I've been PokéDan, you've been amazing, and I'll see you guys next time.